China's lunar probe has landed, carrying samples from an unexplored far side of the moon. The Chang'e 6 mission, which lasted for 53 days, explored the side of the moon that faces away from the Earth.
The dream of a city on the moon is no longer confined to science fiction. China has set its sights on turning this dream into a reality, boldly tackling the extreme challenges of lunar habitation. But before humans can step foot on its surface, one vital discovery must reshape everything: how to survive, not just visit, the moon's hostile environment. The first step, however, isn't about sending astronauts. It's about understanding the harsh realities of the moon, and China's mission to conquer them begins with a strategy rooted in innovation and preparation. China's lunar vision. China's ambitious lunar city project is one of the boldest undertakings in space exploration today. Unlike previous missions that aim for quick landings and brief visits, China envisions a long-term human presence on the moon. The goal isn't simply to plant a flag or conduct brief scientific research. It's to build an enduring settlement, a city capable of housing humans for generations. But the moon presents challenges unlike anything humanity has faced. With no atmosphere, no magnetic shield, and no natural resources readily available, the moon is the ultimate test of engineering prowess. The temperature swings between plus 120 degrees Celsius and minus 30 degrees Celsius, and radiation from the sun and cosmic particles constantly bombards the surface. For any nation aiming for long-term habitation, this is more than an exploration challenge. It's a battle against an unforgiving environment that will push every technology, system, and theory to the limit. In this context, China's strategy is radically different from traditional space exploration. Rather than sending humans to deal with these challenges firsthand, China plans to send robots first, machines that can withstand the moon's harshest conditions and build the necessary infrastructure before human life is introduced. This methodical approach, grounded in preparation, offers a strategic edge over other space agencies like NASA and SpaceX, which focus primarily on exploration and immediate human presence. Lessons from the past. For centuries, space exploration has been driven by one central idea: pushing the limits of human endurance. Early lunar missions, especially NASA's Apollo program, were proof of this. Astronauts braved the harsh conditions of the moon's surface, spending mere hours or days in the lifeless landscape. These short stays were a result of the extreme risks associated with long-term habitation. While Apollo's success marked a giant leap for mankind, it also revealed a critical limitation. Human presence on the moon, for any extended period, was not feasible with the technology of the time. NASA's approach in the 1960s was ambitious, but it was also reactionary. The focus was on achieving symbolic milestones: landing on the moon, returning samples, and raising the American flag. The technology, designed for brief exploration, wasn't meant for survival. It was a race to be the first, but not necessarily the last. SpaceX, more modern in its vision, has a different approach, aiming for a Mars settlement. Their focus is on advanced technology, like reusable rockets and human-centric exploration. But while SpaceX's efforts are pushing humanity's boundaries, their lunar plans are still in the early stages, largely revolving around missions to deliver cargo and infrastructure. As for NASA, the Artemis program aims to return astronauts to the moon, but the long-term sustainability of such missions, beyond short stays, is still unclear. China, however, saw the limitations of this model and took a different route. They weren't focused on flag planting or symbolic achievements. Instead, they began by solving the most fundamental issue: how to survive on the moon. Learning from the Apollo and early SpaceX missions, China's approach was rooted not in heroism, but in rigorous testing, robotics, and engineering. Their first step: to understand the moon in ways that humans never had before. A critical failure. In 2019, China launched its Chang'e 4 mission, a groundbreaking venture that carried humanity's first probe to the far side of the moon. Along with scientific instruments and mobility systems, the mission carried something more experimental: a small biological test known as the lunar microecosystem. Inside this container were cotton seeds, potato seeds, fruit fly eggs, and yeast, chosen to represent a simple but functional biological cycle. The experiment aimed to answer a fundamental question: could life, even briefly, survive in the moon's extreme conditions. At first, the results were nothing short of a breakthrough. The cotton seeds germinated and sprouted, marking the first time plant life had ever grown on the moon. This was celebrated as a monumental success, proof that life could, in some form, endure the lunar environment. But the real test wasn't the growth itself. It was what happened next, when the lunar night began. As the moon's surface cooled during the 14-day night cycle, the temperature inside the micro-ecosystem dropped rapidly. Despite insulation and careful design, the internal environment of the container couldn't withstand the cold. Within days, the biological activity ceased. No life survived. This failure wasn't just a setback, it was a revelation. It confirmed that no matter how well protected a biological system was, the extreme temperature fluctuations and the lack of any natural protection on the moon made survival impossible without far more advanced shielding. This experiment fundamentally reshaped China's approach to lunar colonization. It shifted the focus from biological survival to one that prioritized engineering, ensuring that every structure and system was isolated from the brutal surface environment. From this failure, China learned that life could not adapt to the moon's harshness. Instead, technology would have to protect and sustain it. Rebuilding the plan. The failure of the lunar microecosystem experiment led China to a crucial turning point. Instead of focusing on human resilience or relying on biological life systems, the country realized that lunar survival hinged entirely on engineering solutions. The strategy pivoted from a race to quickly send humans to the moon to a more calculated, data-driven approach, designed to ensure that every system was tested, proven, and ready before humans were ever involved. The new blueprint focused on one central truth: robots would be the key to lunar colonization. These machines, capable of withstanding the harsh environment, would go ahead of any human presence, mapping the terrain, testing life support systems, and building the infrastructure necessary for long-term survival. The robots would perform the tedious, dangerous work of failure and recalibration, tasks that could not risk human lives. With every mission, data was collected, weaknesses identified, and the design space refined. This shift meant that China's lunar program would no longer be about quick victories or showcasing technological prowess. Instead, it would be a long game of preparation, learning from failures and relentlessly improving designs. Robotic systems would be in charge of reconnaissance, construction, and testing, taking on the most dangerous tasks. Only when the environment was thoroughly understood and the infrastructure was robust enough to withstand the moon's threats would human presence be considered. With this recalibrated strategy, China began laying the groundwork for something unprecedented: a permanent, self-sustaining city on the moon, harnessing the moon's hidden secrets. While China's robotic approach to lunar preparation was crucial, a deeper revelation awaited. The moon's natural features, long overlooked, could provide unexpected solutions to the most formidable challenges. During subsequent missions, China's exploration revealed something extraordinary beneath the moon's surface. Lava tubes, remnants of ancient volcanic activity, could serve as ideal shelters for human habitation. These lunar lava tubes, created billions of years ago when molten lava flowed beneath the surface and later drained away, formed vast, hollow caverns. Some of these tubes are large enough to contain entire neighborhoods, offering natural protection from the moon's harsh conditions. The thick rock above these tunnels provides an unmatched shield against radiation, which is one of the greatest dangers for long-term habitation. It also protects against the constant bombardment of micrometeorites, a persistent threat on the surface. The temperature inside these tubes remains far more stable than on the moon's surface, offering a refuge from the brutal 14-day cycle of scorching heat and freezing cold. This discovery shifted the narrative once again. Instead of building surface-level structures vulnerable to the moon's environment, China now saw a path forward using these natural formations. These lava tubes could become the cornerstone of a permanent lunar city, offering not just protection, but a sustainable environment where humans could live and work for decades. Harnessing the moon's hidden advantages provided a more viable, secure, and long-term solution, setting China's lunar vision apart from other space programs, shaping humanity's future beyond Earth. China's methodical, engineering-first approach to lunar colonization challenges the traditional notions of space exploration. Where others sought heroic milestones and quick wins, China's strategy is grounded in patience and precision, building a future that is sustainable, not symbolic. Through robotic systems, advanced materials, and an innovative understanding of the moon's natural features, China is constructing a foundation that could one day house generations of humans. This approach isn't just about the moon, it's about pushing humanity's reach beyond Earth's fragile atmosphere. It asks us to think of space as a place to settle, not just explore. As China's lunar program progresses, it will inevitably shape the way future generations approach space colonization. It is no longer a matter of visiting distant worlds. It's about making them home. China's strategy is teaching humanity that the real race in space is not just about reaching new frontiers, but about ensuring we can live in them. China's Moon City is a testament to the power of preparation, precision, and innovation. As the dream of permanent lunar habitation becomes a reality, it reshapes the future of space. Want to learn more about the moon's secrets? Subscribe now and join the journey.